All right. Welcome to the NWO Show, your source for everything New World. We hope that you guys are having an awesome week. It is, of course, Tuesday yet again, and we are excited to share New World news on what, to us, is actually kind of a big day.
Yeah, it's Tuesday News Day, but it's also...
Yeah, it is also our 2-year anniversary as a channel. We have almost exclusively covered New World related content for the last 2 full years. And I know many people are like, but the game came out less than 2 months ago. How could they possibly cover it for 2 years? We've been in the alpha, but of course, the alpha itself is not in and of itself something that we could have streamed. So we basically kept people appraised of any of the news and any major changes that were happening. That was often a very difficult task early on, as there was not a lot of news coming out. In fact, there was a couple of times where I mentioned that to some of the other parties involved, and they actually thought I was digging at them, and it's like, no, I'm just trying to make affiliate at some point, It's like, give me enough news in a month so that I can make affiliate.
It was one of those stupid situations, and yeah. Damn.
Oh, yeah. So, and of course, since the preview event last year, there was a lot more opportunity, a lot more news coming out, continued development on the game, and of course, everybody had a better idea of where the game was. This kind of put us into an interesting situation, and we kind of grew and took advantage of opportunities as they came up, and it's, to us, streaming to the number of people that we get to stream to is a dream. It's something that we're incredibly happy with. We're excited that you guys choose to share your Tuesday afternoons with us. Looking back, it's actually kind of crazy, how far the channel has actually come. Our YouTube showcases this actually quite well. When I say it's crazy how far we've come, I mean that in the best of ways, but also I'm gonna show us a short clip of episode 1.
Well, you say episode 1, episode 1/episode 2.
I think it was more like episode 4. Or my bad. It was episode 2, although we call it episode 1 because the first one that we aired actually failed to record the VOD, because we didn't know we had to check that setting. So episode 1 is permanently gone. Yeah. But this was the show back in the day. Completely different look. Total amateurs. Clearly we got our RGB background game
working. Yeah.
We definitely pulled that together real quick. Yeah. That's the real important thing, is fixing the background color. Not to mention the quality of the equipment. I used to have just the worst echo.
Oh God, yeah. You were abusing the audience by using a Blue Yeti in all the wrong ways, in all the wrong scenarios.
Yes, it was the world's worst location to do recording.
Yeah.
Versus my current office, which is much better, with, of course, a substantially better microphone that we don't have nearly the amount of problems with. So we took that show and we decided that wasn't exactly what we wanted to hit. and we made some revisions to it. And of course, I'm not going to go through all of the different revisions that we made, but you can see over time, as a show, we developed a pretty substantially different brand. And
that was when I'd moved into that
for.
really that was when I'd moved into that really nice sort of clean apartment as well.
For those that don't know, that is quite definitely a green screen.
Yeah,
but it had people fooled for months that was actually.
Oh yeah. That was hilarious.
Oh. I used to have a cheap camera that gave me problems all of the time. It's actually right here, because I use that one on my work computer now. And now I have an expensive camera that gives me even more problems. One of these days I'll figure out how to turn off the autofocus and it'll just stay focused where it's supposed to be, but and one of the important things here is that almost all of these upgrades to the stream, to to the visuals and all of that, have been basically financed by you guys. All of the improvement that you've seen, all of the growth on this channel is entirely up to you. And we know that, and that's why we focus on the things that hopefully matter. Providing you with quality content, quality information, and some good jokes at our expense.
Yep.
Simply put, I can't say thank you enough, because the community is the reason that we do this. This being the case, McLeod, I'm going to have you talk for a minute because I need to set something up.
Ah, right, okay. What are you particularly setting up?
Going into Streamlabs to set up the thing.
Oh, right, okay. I was going to do that, but that's fair enough. In which case, I can show everybody what we're going to be giving away as such. Before I do that, I actually have to flip my my camera, because my camera is actually flipped horizontally at the moment. Here we go. And so this is what we're giving away. This is what I ended up going and picking up. And this is all new. They haven't been scratched off. Like that one hasn't been scratched off yet. Like all of these are still completely in their packaging, ready to go. And if you
what are the denominations on those?
The denominations are the Amazon ones that I have 4 of. They are £15. So obviously, if you're in the US, they're going to be more than $15. They're going to be like, I don't know, $16, $17, $18, something like that. And then the grand prize, which is the Steam gift voucher, if you can kind of see there, that's £50. So that's going to be $60 to $70, which is basically a full-on AAA game of your choosing. So that's going to be pretty good. And let me just flip my there you go. And so yeah, we'll be giving those out. I think we'll probably end up doing the Amazon gift vouchers first, sort of throughout the show, as it were. Probably, I don't know, every half hour or so, and then probably end up doing the grand prize Steam gift card at the end, so long as Amazon Games releases some kind of patch notes or something like that. That's the hope. So we're not basically sort of I don't know, we might give away the Steam one, just for the sake of giving it out anyway, even if there aren't any patch notes.
Yeah,
because we're nice like that.
Let's I think I got it's GBP is Great Britain pound or something like that.
Yeah, GBP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe it's exclamation point raffle.
Could be.
Exclamation point raffle gets you entered in for the first drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna run that for about 30 minutes. Go get your friends. Make sure everybody knows about it. Now's the time. Most of this stream is going to be about giving back to you guys while still providing you, what most of you are here for, which I hope is New World news.
Yep.
Or if you're just here because, hey, it's the holidays and there's a good chance to win some Steam gift cards, or a Steam gift card and some Amazon gift cards, then more power to you, and we're happy that you're joining us tonight. One thing that I do want to talk about, and we've talked about it on the last 2 or 3 streams, is that we are in the process of developing a new show. It will be additive to our New World content, but I think people will really enjoy it. Fundamentally, we don't have a name for the show. We don't have a theme picked yet. There's a lot. When it comes to developing these kind of shows, there's actually a surprising amount of work that you need to do. It's more than just plug and play with a different name. So basically, what we're doing is we are going to start. We've already started the process of actually creating a full-on gaming and entertainment news show. So it'll cover more than New World. It'll cover other game developments, new games coming out, as well as make some pretty substantial headway into getting us towards some other content that we're looking to cover, which is more like gaming industry news. Cloud, something's going on with your microphone.
Oh God, apologies.
There we go. So I hope you guys are excited for that. Stay tuned. It'll be like a whole announcement in our Discord, and you'll see it. You'll see us announce it on this show, and then we'll likely be streaming it either here or on YouTube. We have some challenges currently with Twitch and some of the limitations that the algorithm gives us for when we can't host content, as well as taking risks on content can be a pretty significant challenge to gaining future viewers. Which, if anybody ever tells you that making it big on Twitch is easy, smack them in the face and tell them they got lucky. Because I can tell you, it's hard work, and it sure as shit doesn't translate to money. Big raid incoming. Interesting.
Oh, hey,
Redbird with the 258 raid. Thank you, Redbird. Redbird's one of our partners.
Oh yeah.
Redbird's one of our partners over on New World Game, of which we are a part of their team. We're excited to be a part of their team, and it's always a good time to have them. I hope he had a great stream today. I think he was going for 6 hours today, so
damn,
a pretty solid one.
Nice one, dude. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, 3K came over, as it were.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, by the way, Redbird. You guys are in for a treat because we are giving away some Amazon gift cards. One is up for grabs right now. It's this one. There
Exclamation point raffle gets you entered in the chat.
Yep. There's a raffle going on at the moment. This is not a normal thing that we generally do, but this is because this is our 2-year anniversary show. So,
absolutely.
welcome everybody to our 2-year anniversary show. But we will be obviously not just talking about the history of this channel or the raffles that were good, the raffles that are going to be going on. We are also obviously going to be talking about what's been going on in the world of New World as well.
Are we a couple? No. No, but we have been streaming on this channel for 2
years.
years.
Yeah.
We're also not related, although we look like it. Yeah.
That's also another thing that comes up every so often. Yeah.
Thank you, Redbird. You have an awesome night. It was great to see you.
Yeah.
Always good to see you.
You guys should and you guys like considering what's gonna potentially be dropping fairly soon for New World. Like you guys should definitely go out, check out New World Fans because they have an article there. Penned, I think it was by BDLG. I think it was BDLG. But it was covering basically everything regarding the winter sort of content update. So you should definitely check that out. It was a ton of work. It's really detailed. It's accurate and everything. Like you guys should definitely check that shit out.
So there's only one thing that appears to be wrong with it, and it's the dates of when the festival apparently starts. Because apparently it didn't start today, despite every bit of everything telling us, including AGS, that it was supposed to start today.
You can't say that that's like on him in any way, shape, or form. Like everybody thought it was going on, like at least going on today. Like,
that's par for the course with AGS right now, though. So, but yeah, otherwise, phenomenal article, worth a read, guys. Yes. We will be covering it on stream, so if you don't want to read it and you want somebody to give you the highlights, we're gonna do that.
The other kind of thing as well is from an ongoing perspective, the map that we have up on New World Fans is going to have all of the updated winter content on it as well. So, if you're looking for an updated map to use when playing, that has all the sort of various different content for the winter sort of event, that will be on the map as well. So check that out.
Yeah. So, let's start diving into some New World content here. So first and foremost, server merges are finally happening. And they're happening in decent numbers. Obviously, they're trying to ensure that, hey, we want to make sure there's no issues. We want to make sure that this isn't, that we're not missing anything before they go crazy with, merging many servers. Because if there's any problems happening now, they want to make sure that they catch them prior to that, because fixing it on a couple of servers is way easier than fixing it on many.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
If a whole bunch of servers start sort of dropping and falling apart, and having database or sort of general sort of data corruption issues, you're gonna have an absolute headache on your to deal with. Whereas if you're only starting with a few, you can identify if you're having any issues, it's a learning experience and you can kind of adapt, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
So many of these actually happened yesterday.
Right. Okay.
It was not an overly simple process. There were a couple of hiccups, but over the course of the night, they managed to resolve everything, and it didn't appear as though there were any major issues.
There was, I think, the initial EU one. I think was it Brittany to which one? Britia. Mardi merging into Britia had some a server crash, which was related to company reimbursement, and that's basically company reimbursement for the server that's merging into Britia. Basically, the companies that had territory should have been automatically reimbursed a certain amount of money based on the amount of territories that they had, and apparently that didn't go over, so and caused a crash. They were able to resolve it, but I think they're going to. I think they've figured out what was going wrong there, but they had to sort of manually give companies sort of the compensation that they were deserved.
Yes. One of the problems that did show up that scared some people was that it appeared as though there were some characters that were deleted at first, i.e. they did not show up on users' accounts when they went to log in.
God.
This was a visual problem. The character was not actually deleted. The server just hadn't communicated with them and was failing to communicate with them. So somewhere in this mass window of things, they actually clarify, hey, what is going on here? Just stop. Chrome, whatever you're doing,
you're right.
just not that. Like, oh, yeah. So that's a thing, apparently. Now, that said, the characters weren't actually deleted. They ended up showing up. They just had to basically kick the server and make it happen. Nothing was deleted in the process. It's, yeah. Flashing light warning. Yeah, apologies for that. Chrome decided to be Chrome. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So, good times overall with server merges. It's good to see that there's not any major issues, as coin compensation for territory owners isn't, in my opinion, not the most vital thing.
It's not a massive game-breaking thing, but it is something that they would like to. They can get resolved eventually, as long as they have the data for it. I'm sure they do have the data for it. If needs be, they can do it manually, but obviously they'd want an automatic process to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the sub, by the way, Kapasodati.
Yeah, thank you. So server merges, we can look forward to seeing more of these. I would imagine that we'll probably start seeing more even before Christmas break, or the holidays kind of hit here. That said, the week in between Christmas and New Year's, I'm pretty sure that we can assume is either going to be an incredibly light patch or none at all. So I think people should set their expectations on that already, because that's kind of a big one.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's move right along. We've got an interesting interview to cover. Scot Lane is out in the public again doing interviews. We're hoping to hear much more from them, and there's a lot of good here. There's also some stuff that's worth a follow-up question. So I'm going to, for those that actually want to read the full thing, I'm not going to read the whole interview for you guys, but it's in the chat window now. And as we have a moment, make sure to hit ! raffle in the chat so that you can get entered in for the Amazon gift card. So, one of the biggest takeaways from this entire thing was that Scot Lane says, "We've made mistakes by moving too fast." And I 100% agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the fixes that they tried to implement really quickly were not either not thoroughly thought out, were a little bit messy in terms of coding, or you hadn't had the proper either amount or the sort of the time required for QA, because there was a lot of situations where they put out patches to fix things. And as you guys all know, it was one of those things where a patch came in and it was fixed a bunch of things, and then it broke a bunch of things as well, and people were really concerned. And then the thing that it tried to fix, broke again in some way, shape, or form, or there was the exploit that they tried to patch. There was another version of it that suddenly cropped up.
Yes.
Yeah.
and realistically, had they have taken additional time, that would have been it would have been a really good thing. There is a point in time when they talk about specifically exploits. And I want to read exactly what they say on exploits here. So, New World's release was just over 2 months ago, and it set an absurdly high player count in the process, with a peak of 913,000. However, the game's first weeks haven't been smooth sailing. Post-launch patches fixed some issues, but introduced several bugs and exploits to the game, requiring rapid intervention and downtime. And in some cases, emergency solutions like disabling trade and rolling back servers. In Scot's words, there's been a sharp decline in the active player base since launch, but Amazon Games contend with these unforeseen issues and player feedback. The team is also focused on adding content and expanding the MMO's world. The first major post-launch update, Into the Void, landed halfway through November, and there's plenty more planned for the coming months, including a New World Winter Festival, which should have launched today. Crickets. As I look over to the channel that I'm waiting eagerly for a ping in.
Yeah, I know, right?
Following the Into the Void update, we spoke to the New World game director Scot to find out more about the team's post-launch priorities, weathering the storm of bugs and exploits, and how Eternum may change as New World establishes itself as one of the top MMOs around.
I think the bit that you were looking at was a little further down.
Yeah, it's a little further down. I'm going to end up reading a large chunk of this here. What's the post-launch experience been like for the team? It's been a learning experience. That's a good thing to hear.
Yeah, like the last thing you want to hear is like, oh, we haven't learned anything about this. We think we've done fantastically. Yeah. Whereas we're all
the CCP
going
response.
Like, no, this hasn't been what I've been feeling at all.
Yeah, we've been humbled by the response to New World, and it has led to a significantly more scale than we had in our alpha or public beta, and that surfaced some issues. We understand the importance of responding quickly, but we've been trying to fix issues as fast as possible. Early on, we were so focused on fixing the issues that we didn't do a good enough job communicating with players. This is something we put a lot of effort into correcting, and will continue to make a focus. As I have stated a number of times, this is the open invite to any Amazon Game Studio developer that would like to come on. You are more than welcome. We will be more than happy to treat you fairly. I won't say like we won't hit you with some hardballs, but like we will treat you incredibly fairly, and ask the follow-up questions that deserve being asked. So if you're interested, more than happy to have you.
Yeah. But in terms of communication, they've been doing a good job. When you step back and look at it from a bit of perspective based on other sort of companies and how they kind of how they communicate with their fan base, like they've been doing pretty good. The only thing that I have issue with, I think, is probably the individual kind of communications with players who have been caught up in some way, shape, or form with the moderation kind of policies. Like they've had. I don't think the experience there has been nice in any way, shape, or form. Like I think Amazon kind of still has a way to go with that. Amazon Games has a way to go with that.
Absolutely. The ban, when you get banned from a game, you need to know exactly what you did, so that you can know that. And we'll get into a little bit more on bans and stuff like that after this article, because we actually have a whole thing dedicated to talking about that. So
there's a bit of a spoiler, like in big writing in bold, like on that particular part of the interview. But you know,
yes, yes.
If you didn't know about it already, you do now.
Yes, one of the absolute biggest things that comes from this is the quote from Scott Lane: "We're planning to let players access their inventory while running."
Hallelujah.
Yes, thank God. Yeah. So they make a number of comments about, there's not a large number of people exploiting, but those exploits are, of course, highly damaging when they do happen.
Yes.
Especially like duping of items and things like that.
I think a lot of people have like rightly kind of said that, like, yeah, there may not be huge amounts of people exploiting, but like that's the thing, when they exploit, they do a significant amount of damage, in relation to sort of like their individual kind of size comparatively to the rest of the player base. But
yes.
they point out that fact literally in the, like Scott Lane does mention it.
Mm-hmm. The percentage of players and companies using exploits is extremely small, and the vast majority of the advantages they gained were temporary. So I think that's one of the biggest things with this, is that sure, there was a lot of hype, there were problems, but they actually did a good job of cleaning that up. There's not an overabundance or crazy amount of legendary equipment and legendary crafting tools and stuff like that on the market. If there was, then loaded dice wouldn't cost $25,000.
That's true.
Just saying. There was another part about exploits that's...
I mean, when it comes to exploits, the way I kind of see it, like, and sort of, breaking out into, out a little bit from this this particular kind of thing, is Amazon Games and being a subsidiary of Amazon themselves, like they do have a lot of potential capital that they can leverage, to help with certain situations. A lot of security companies, internet security companies, and even some some games companies, like, for example, I think it's Take-Two, or no, Rockstar. I think it was Rockstar, actually. It's not Take-Two. I think it's Rockstar. Actually do actively pay people who find significant bugs in their games, in their game engines, and all that kind of stuff. Like, and I kind of feel like Amazon Games should have that ability to be able to financially reward people who find significant bugs in their game code, because, like, honestly, a lot of people who are either kind of trying to find these bugs are doing it either to just to be an arsehole, or to potentially profit from it by making hacks or this, that, and the other. And I think if there's a scenario or a situation where you can kind of get rid of that sort of like that negativity by literally paying somebody to show you like where in your game code your game code is fucked up, or your game engine is like misfiring in some way, shape, or form, like, I think that would be a win for Amazon Games to do. Like, there's ample reason to have that kind of program up and running. I think that would only be a win from Amazon's perspective, especially considering how much money they can potentially have to leverage into that kind of program. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Ace? Like, that sort of program for Amazon Games?
I think it works. Like, it's been shown to work. One of the things with this is that people if they realize that they're the first to find it, they're going to report it because they don't want to be second. If there's a cash prize for an instant reward, then, you know, hey, get it now, instead of doing what many dupers did and RMT'd stuff. You know, that's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is, hey, I found it first, I reported it, it got fixed quickly. One of the worst bits of logic that I've ever seen in gaming when it comes to exploits comes to this, you know, we need to show the developers it's a wide-scale problem in order for it to get fixed. When it comes to something critical like game economy and things like that, and item duping, that's not something that's going to get overlooked. And I know that there's you know, the thought process of like, we have to make sure it's seen, but there's a difference between making sure that it's seen and you know, reporting it appropriately. And I think that Amazon needs to come up with better ways of reporting these things without people literally showcasing how it works. You know, that in itself is actually rather important. I think that McLeod, your mic's doing that thing again.
Ah, goddamn it, right.
You know, I think that it's actually quite important for them to review those things ahead of time or as early as possible. I think a system like this would be valuable in that. And of course, if they're paying people for these fixes, they, you know, are more likely to fix them. Because of course they don't want them, you know, continuously being reported and causing signal noise for other problems. It's one of the problems that we actually faced on the subreddit, was that people would just spread how to do an exploit under the logic of, you know, oh, you know, we need to make this a prevalent problem for them to go and fix. It's like, no. That is the worst thing that's you can do, because you're only causing damage.
I mean, Amazon Games hasn't really helped themselves with regards to how they want people to disclose bugs, though. You know, when it comes to sort of reporting a bug on a forum, because they haven't changed the sort of like the copy paste sort of like format that they want people to sort of report it in. You know, beyond what it was when you know, it was in closed beta and alpha and that kind of thing. Like, you know, you still have that kind of thing of like, you know, how do you recreate that bug? Like, you know, what are the steps involved in recreating this bug? And like, you know, when you're asking that of the person who's found a bug, you know, when it comes to sort of posting something in public view to everybody on the internet, like, you know, as soon as that person has put that post up showing that there is a bug and this is the way to replicate it, like, I mean, should you really be surprised that, you know, other people jump on that, you know, that particular post, find out how to replicate the bug, and then start doing it themselves? Like, in all honesty.
Well, and it also provides this kind of overall look of, you know, the problem being more prevalent than it is. You know, for instance, a post reaching, you know, 2,000-3,000 upvotes on Reddit, you know, makes the problem appear much more prevalent than it is. Just because it got that many upvotes does not mean that many people are doing it. You know, it creates a much larger problem than it actually is.
Yep.
So
yeah, they need to rectify some of their internal kind of stuff, and some of the way that that essentially, you know, people are reporting bugs. Like, if people wants to report bugs, like, you know, change it. Just change the manner at which people are reporting bugs, so then they're not, you know, airing the you know, the recreation steps to everybody on the internet. Like, you know, something like that is so simple to do. It's, you know, such a simple change to make.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is, sometimes these things take a while to fix. You know, and sometimes they take a while to fix correctly, as we've seen. Because there's a difference between duct taping it and actually fixing it. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, and I think AGS has been an exemplary example of moving too quick and not appropriately testing that the patch actually does what it's supposed to do.
I thought you were going to
Yeah.
go a different direction there, but then you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, no, they definitely have shown how moving too fast causes a lot of issues. Yeah, very much so. And I think that raffle has just finally ended as well.
Yep. All right, let's see who's getting the first Amazon gift card. Lapchi123. Go ahead and reach out to McLeod in chat.
That's me who have I have X stuff in chat. So yeah, send me a private whisper on what you call it on Twitch, and I will throw you the code for this Amazon gift voucher. Obviously, if he's AFK,
He's there. He's in chat there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, cool. You should be able to whisper me. I'm fairly certain I have it set up.
Wow,
So
he got his. He was the last one to get a ticket too.
Oh really?
Wow. Talk about timing.
Yeah, just a bit. Christ.
Yeah, good.
Nice.
Good one. Good win.
But yeah, as you can see, these gift cards, they haven't been opened. I'll literally need to rip this open in order to actually give you the code on it. So if you want to continue, Ace, while I rip this up and give this code to Lapchi.
So some good things that I feel like were worth mentioning from this article. They are going to continue the commitment to content development, adding meaningful content to the game for years to come. They're not dropping the project. They're not walking away from it. They're not doing any of that. Like, the game is still, as we said in the pre-show, the game still has more players than most games. So that's an important distinction. Although it might not feel like there's a lot, depending on the server that you're on, there are actually a substantial amount of people playing the game. Now, hopefully they can get some other fixes, and we can start seeing some more server. As I say this, a new thing popped up. Preparation for server merges US East. Several servers have been added, and we'll be going through a server merges. So that's good news. Good news. That means that there's not nearly as many problems, and yeah. So additional content's on its way. Additional weapons are on their way, which we've known some weapons are still in development. We've seen the blunderbuss. We've seen daggers. I believe that there's going to be some sort of pole arm.
That should be pretty cool. Yeah, pole arm will be awesome.
Yeah. And yeah. So aside from this, let's see. We kind of hit on this, but they're trying to hit a better balance of patches, but patches that are meaningful and patches that actually work. So giving themselves the appropriate amount of time to actually hit the quality standards that they would like to hit versus the emergency patch kind of system that they've kind of found themselves in several times here. You can see that obviously they're taking the public test realm much more seriously than the first time through. I think the first time through it was a lot of people were a little bit disheartened because much of the feedback wasn't really captured, and it felt like it was pretty much on rails. Versus the current PTR, actually, I think people have really noticed that, hey, there's a lot of this that we've had impact on, that we've been able to have our voices heard. Having the gold amount changed on how much the cast cost, how much, having apologies, this isn't actually in my patch notes. I'm trying to remember this from the dev post that I read the other day. Basically, many of the things that people have been complaining about, they're actually looking at patching, and they're looking at changing the way they do. When it comes to the actual expertise system, which is the replacement dash rename of the high watermark, that system overall, you can see massive changes where they were like, hey, this is totally what we want. This is, we understand what the players are aiming for. We figured something wrong, and one of the coolest things that I think I've seen in gaming company history is a company saying that they were wrong and the player base was right.
It's good. It's good to see them being humble.
Yeah. So turning around and knowing that gear is not going to get downgraded. If you own it now, it's not going to get any worse. If you craft it yourself, and if that's the way that you decided to get your level 600 stuff, great. Your stuff doesn't get downgraded. The stuff that you craft for yourself doesn't get downgraded. The stuff that's awarded to you in missions doesn't get downgraded. And they even added in like a halfway system to ensure that crafted items are still valuable. So let's say I sell McLeod a level 600 thing and he's 520 gear score. It's going to halfway instead of going all the way, which still gives him a solid benefit of using the better gear.
Yeah.
And, enables there to actually be some value in high-end crafting still.
It gives you an incentive to want to sort of, obviously, jump into the whole, the whole kind of sort of, what is it? I've forgotten the name. The name just kind of like went straight out of my head for a second there. It's not the thingy system. It's like the not the mastery
expertise
system. You know what I mean? Expertise system. That's the one.
Yes.
I don't know why that just flew right out of my head, right? But like that's the nice thing about it. It's it gives you an incentive to want to sort of take part in the expertise system, but it also gives you a solid a solid kind of like benefit as well, which is nice.
So now the other side of this is, let's say an item drops. An item drops in the world. That item is still valuable to somebody. Like, let's say a 585 item drops in the world, and I trade it to McLeod, and he's only got a 520 gear score. Again, that's going to meet halfway in the middle. Doesn't devalue it nearly as much as people would like to think that it does. In fact, it still means that if you're grinding higher level gear score items and getting those gear to drop, then you're actually still able to sell them to people who are fresh level 60s, who are going to want that jump in gear score. But yeah. So let's see some of the other cool stuff here. Actually, we got to do another giveaway.
Yeah, if you want to start that up.
All right, exclamation point raffle. We're giving away another one. Yeah, and I mean for the players right now, like the move right now is basically just go buy level 600 gear score stuff and you're good to go. Because it's not going to downgrade anymore. Because if you own it now pre patch, it's not going to be a problem. And frankly, the other stuff, like the probably one of the biggest things for level 60 plus characters, is that it's actually going to show you what your gear score is, or what your expertise level is for that slot. So it's no longer like this hidden thing that you have to kind of guess, or anally track in a spreadsheet that you definitely don't want to update as often as you pull gear. Just not a was not a great thing. Now having that as a thing is great, so that it's just visual in game. Boom, you know exactly what the score is. You don't have to worry about it, and you know when it moves because it's going to give you an alert. So that's actually, yeah. So, aside from that, they're aiming for new expeditions to come into the game. They're aiming for more quest types. They're aiming for more open world content, and they're aiming for more dynamic events, which I think all of those things are vital to the success of the game in the future, and I'm excited to see them. It's just a matter of time and when it finally actually happens. For instance, we've known about Brimstone Sands for a while. I'd like to think that it's pretty close to done, but I would assume that with all of the craziness post-launch and the emergency fixes and all of that, I would assume that many of the people that were working on that got pulled off of that to deal with other problems. And a skeleton crew probably continued that process until it was more quiet. And in the last couple of weeks, people have probably realized, hey, it's actually a little bit quiet. It's not overly bad. Not overly bad. It's actually quite good right now. Community doesn't seem overly upset with things, and there seems to be a solid path forward. It also, in the last couple of weeks, has really showcased that the studio appears to be listening to the community, which that in itself is worth everything. McLeod, your mic's doing that thing again.
Oh, god damn it.
So there's some interesting things here as well. One of the things that Scott goes into is that he reiterates that there is no hard limit on the map size. In addition to that, there is no hard limit on player population. So,
I mean,
that's an interesting couple of things to talk about.
So the thing is, with him saying that, it begs the question of like, why limit the player base? Like when at launch to why limit the servers to 2,000 or 2,250 or whatever it was? Like,
Yes, I think that's a valid question. The challenge there, I think, is that you end up with bottlenecks. And this was showcased more in the beta, but like in the first beta, you actually had problems where people would run up to an area for a quest, like mine 3 of these things. Well, there's 45 people there waiting to mine 3 of those things, and they respawn every 5 minutes. So you run into situations like that, or go kill the Forge Master. Well, only so many people can get in on the kill, and he respawns every 5 minutes. So you can only have so many people doing that at a certain time. Now, when you hit level 60, that barrier kind of goes away. Like as people get through, it goes away. What I don't understand is why they didn't raise the number of people as the servers grew. Or as like players started reaching 40s, 50s, 60s, let the population go crazy. There is a certain amount of degradation of the experience where if there was 6,000 people on the map, you're never going to find a node of anything that you want. Like, you know, if you think it's like on some servers there is some competition for things like hemp. You know, that said, on some servers you can find it anywhere abundantly because nobody's mining it. Imagine if you had, you know, 6,000 people, all of a sudden you're sitting there fighting for hemp against, you know, 15 people in the same field, all trying to get the same thing. Like, the player experience drops off pretty quickly there.
Oh yeah.
So I can see kind of why they don't want to go crazy with those numbers, but I think in the heat of things, they probably should have turned around and said, okay, hey, maybe 2,500 or 3,000 would have been better. You know, I also don't see an issue with them, you know, continuing to expand the map indefinitely. You know, that leaves them a lot of opportunity to do whatever they want to do, and add the amount of space to the game that ensures that, you know, people are going to spread out, they're going to do missions in different areas, they're going to, you know, do content in various different areas, do different expeditions, and the player density won't become an issue. You know, so if you expand the map substantially from where it is, then you can expand to add more people as well, which I think is their logic. But in the short term, expanding the map in a meaningful way, you know, comes with a substantial dev cost. You know, for instance, Brimstone stands, or Brimstone. Wow, Brimstone.
It's going to be a really
Sands.
difficult one to when it actually comes out. It's going to be really that show's going to be really difficult on both of us.
Yeah. I don't know, like, that shouldn't be a difficult word, but like, my day has just been one of those days.
Yeah.
So we know that content has been coming, and we know roughly what size that zone is. So the thought process here is, it takes a decent amount of time to add those points of interest, to make them unique, to add the lore behind them, to add the actual meaning behind things, and to make them fit in the world with, you know, the appropriate challenge and balance. Because some people would argue that certain things have been balanced to be too hard. And some people would argue that they're too easy and that they're just done for, you know, things en masse and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, I'm not saying that either of those arguments are bad. I'm just saying that they're kind of lost in the noise at this point. Because they kind of cancel each other out. Yeah. Now, the other thing is, oftentimes people will complain that certain things appear the same when you look at them on the map. For instance, if you take a look at a number of the towns, the layout is roughly similar. They're obviously, when you go into different towns, they feel very different. Morningdale does not feel like Brightwood. Brightwood does not feel like Everfall. Everfall does not feel like Windsward. You know, many of these have a very similar layout. However, as an overall feel from an art design, feel very different and utilize many different assets. So many of the complaints of, you know, oh, they just copy pasted and rotated the town, just isn't really the case. Like, you know, it's not that simple. And it's substantially more difficult to pull off because you're trying to make an overall feel that is unique town to town. Also, town layouts that don't have the smelter next to the forge confuses and frightens me too. I 100% agree. There are certain things that just belong next to each other. McLeod, your mic's doing that thing again.
Fuck's sake. Okay. I don't know what.
It's all good. It's all good. So some of the things that I wasn't a huge fan of. I worry a little bit about their thoughts about players creating secondary characters on other servers. I don't think that that's going to be prevalent. I just don't see it. I don't see people putting the amount of time necessary to level one of these characters into multiple servers. You know, if all it was grind to 60, then maybe. But even then, I just don't see the logic behind that. And I'm also not a huge fan of the logic that they used around group sizes. You know, they talk a lot about, you know, groups need to maintain being, you know, a size where you know everybody, and if it needs to get bigger than that, that's what you have the faction for. Which I think is a misunderstanding of how things actually are. Because we as gamers are going to use things outside of the actual structures, you know, the actual systems in game, we can very easily make three companies fight as one, especially if they're all in the same faction. And we can coordinate across companies. So the artificial limit of putting 100 characters in a company, frankly, doesn't really serve any major deterrent from growing any larger than a single company. We did it for quite a while with 2 companies. I think now we're part of 3 or 4 companies that are all one company. You know, one company in a giant trench coat. You know, yeah. Yeah. Now, the reality is that the smaller, like, if smaller groups can actually work together in closer context, the 5-man groups are 100% more effective than most things that people have seen. But I worry a little bit about I'd like to see content designed for a few more than 5. Like, I want to see the, like, 20-man content for PvE come out, because I think that there's some interesting stuff there that's missing. And yeah, one of the last things here are two things more with this. These are actually some big ones. More easy social organizing tools to help with expeditions. Quest finders, group finders, etc. Like, those are the kinds of things that they're interested in assisting people with, because there are some people that don't quite understand how, you know, looking for group or LFG systems work with a recruitment channel. And, you know, this will make things a little bit easier of, hey, I'm going to queue up for this. I'll wait for people to queue up and you know, go in with a random group. Especially for expeditions, I think that's pretty valuable content. And lastly is map improvements. So making things a little bit more distinct on the maps is actually pretty vital. I actually really kind of hope, and I've seen an asset from data mining that leads me to believe that they are working on an internal minimap, which could be very interesting. McLeod, you look concerned. Or angry with your mic. You're also muted. For me, at least.
How about that?
There we go.
You hear me now?
Yep.
There we go. Okay, yeah, no, it's just something I'm going to have to deal with a little later on, but yeah. No, it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. All right. So let's talk about Amazon's data collection. So, for those that don't know, in Europe, there is a General Data Protection Law, GDPR, which allows you to request all data that a company has on you as a consumer so that you can be aware of and request them to delete information as necessary. So this is kind of an interesting thing, but basically, a user has decided, hey, I want to, I'm requesting this data. What can I, what are they going to send me? And this is kind of an interesting story, like, because they did the homework, and it tells some interesting tales, and makes me wonder if Amazon is either complying or they're failing to send all of the relevant data. So I'm gonna send this into the chat because I think that this is of value for people to read.
Okay.
There's the link to the Reddit thread. This is kind of a big one. So
yeah, there was a lot of interesting kind of things that wasn't expecting actually.
So the user got basically a warning for abusive language 2 weeks ago. They wanted to know what the warning was, so they reached out and requested their data. So this leads into the data that they actually sent. Many of the fields of that data were blank. So, for instance, they were sent a thing that, Amazon games.moderation.penalties.csv, and it shows the penalty type, so shows abusive language, shows when it was, does not show the context, does not show the expiration date, shows that it's closed, shows an ID, which is likely a unique identifier for the database to identify that specific infraction, and the product name, i.e., it's for New World, probably building out the system so that it can be used for multiple different contexts, and then the duration type, it's permanent penalty. So basically, what this shows is that they're not recording the context, or at least not sending you the context, which makes you wonder if they're keeping, if they're not keeping the chat log, then, there's a lot of questions that this raises, and I'm a little concerned about those questions.
Yeah. The thing that I'm wondering is whether they've made that full-on connection between the database and the data that they keep for you gaming on an Amazon games kind of title, right? And the data that they store on Amazon, on the main site for Amazon, right? Like, because the thing is, when you go to actually do this data, where you go and request this, it's like it's on Amazon's main website, right? And you kind of think, if it's Amazon's main website, it should trickle down to all of its subsidiary sort of products and services and all that kind of stuff. Like, so you should get, everything. And you do seem to get some stuff, but I think maybe there is, a break, or there's some kind of disruption of connection with the actual data that people make those sort of those judgment calls on, and what's actually available for you when it comes to requesting data, right?
Is that data deleted after it's processed?
That's the thing. That's the sort of like rose tinted glasses side of things.
Yeah.
It could be that the data is just not there, and then if that's the case, then Amazon Games really needs to kind of deal with that, because that's that's not gonna cause a situation that's going to be good for Amazon Games in the long run when it comes to dealing with with moderation, like various different situations when it comes to moderation. Like, it's just it's not going to fly. Slightly concerning, for sure.
Yes. So one of the interesting things is it did also give them the data in you can see these threads here, which are basically lines showcasing reports that the user put in against other players. So it is tracking your reports against somebody else, which is at its core also interesting.
Okay.
I think that this is obviously something that they need to work on, not just from a your data is a mess front, but from a you need to make sure that the player understands what they're being banned for. You need to make sure with the player needs to know what they did wrong. It needs to have that context, because that context is key to an appeal. Because if your first question is every time you go in, what did I do wrong? Like, what is disruptive behavior? There isn't a clean answer to that question, and there really never will be. But if you can actually tell people, hey, under disruptive behavior, moderator enters in, you were doing this behavior and were, temporarily reprimanded for it, then and then you can appeal it. I think that this is also an issue of setting standards for what actually does appeal, or what does warrant a ban. Because people have noted, oh, I got banned for this or I got banned for that. The only thing I said is this. I could tell you, as being a Reddit mod, there was a certain amount of, if just because you saw it on the internet doesn't mean it's true, where people will claim their innocence and their logs show much different stories. Why? My favorite is, why was I banned? And the user appears to have no posts whatsoever on the subreddit. Then you look at their deleted posts, and it's a mile and a half long of the most vile you've ever seen, and it's like, really? Like we can see that.
Like, we can see that.
Like, you could sugarcoat something, but it ain't gonna hide it very well.
I mean, you didn't even. There was a point. There's definitely a point. There was most definitely a point in time in sort of Reddit, like not exactly that long ago as well, that it didn't even need to be a Reddit mod or a subreddit mod to be able to see people's deleted posts. Like, you could literally go and utilize something like remove edit, to find and view people's deleted posts. Like, just deleting your posts isn't going to be one of those things that's like, oh, suddenly I'm clean, suddenly I'm virtuous again. It's like, no.
And the other issue is that some people don't understand that what you're getting moderated for isn't necessarily the thing that's happening as you get banned. Like, for instance, if you're on the subreddit, we probably won't see whatever it is you write for a couple of hours until somebody either reports it or it gets automatically flagged by the auto mod. Which, yes, the subreddit uses an auto mod. Yes, I understand there's a certain amount of irony there. No, I don't care.
If you want to try and actively, sort of moderate a subreddit without an auto mod, of that scale with, you know, that amount of staff, like, yeah, good luck, because you're going to be that's going to be your full-time job, and I hope you don't like sleeping, because you won't get literally a few minutes of sleep. You'll literally be doing it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yes.
Because I've seen how much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a comical amount of things that get flagged. So if people think the moderation, like, I'm gonna jump into the moderation here for a second here of the subreddit. For those that don't know, there have been more than 20,000 moderation actions since launch on the subreddit alone. Like, put that into context here, people. 20,000 across a 6-man team. Now, the lion's share of that is our auto mod, which was not online when launch happened. It should have been online when launch happened, but my god.
Oh, it could have been so much. I think you'd have had a lot less headaches if it was actually online at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolute craziness. That said, very happy with the new mods coming in. They're good people, and yeah. So do we know when the new winter event starts? It was supposed to start today. I believe that we're supposed to get patch notes, but I'm not holding my breath.
When that happens, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like everyone's expectations is it's starting today, or at some point starting today, or you know, there's going to be a patch at some point today. Like, I don't know. Is it going to be a case of like it's going to land technically today, because like it'll land at like 23 hours and 59 minutes, you know, at the final time zone for today, some way, shape, or form. Like in Honolulu, when it's 23 hours and 59 minutes, it's going to land. Like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Our raffle just wrapped up. That was comically good timing on that one. So let's pick another winner. Let's give out some money. Let's do it. Hawaiian Clutch 23.
Talking of Honolulu, I butchered that particular name. I said it all right first time, but then I fucked it up again. Talking about the Hawaiian Islands, dude, speak up in chat. Yeah, there we go. There
he is. Awesome.
I'll send you a whisper, and we'll get you furnished with a code.
All right.
Nice.
And let's see, how many more of those do we have?
I think 2 more.
All right, I'm going to edit these to a shorter timer.
I'm just speaking with our Hawaiian dude, Hawaiian Clutch right now. Yeah.
There we go. I also added an N because the
A and
the 2 vowels next to each other does not, work in the English language. It's not a thing.
Just a bit.
You use the space. I can't do anything about it.
You smashed through that that interview quite quickly.
That we did. There is some stuff that we could go back to, but
yeah,
I want to move along into our next thing.
Okay.
Because our next thing is actually really kind of a big one. For those that don't know, the next raffle just started. ! Raffle gets you into the raffle for another £15 gift card for Amazon. All right. So our next topic, we're going over to newworldfans.com, and we are talking about the Winter Convergence Festival. Now, one thing that we have noted, one thing of note right now, is that there are several of the community managers still online right at the moment. So patch notes could still be coming.
Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed.
Yes. So.
My little thing. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I need to scratch off the actual, like, to get the code and all that kind of jazz.
Now, it is a little bit after 5 there. So if they drop them now, it's literally drop and, we'll see what happens for tomorrow.
Let's go. Yeah.
That
sounds more like a dropping the patch notes rather than dropping the actual, like, patch.
Yeah. The patch itself probably wouldn't happen until the middle of the night anyways, but, as with anything, the Winter Convergence Festival will start whenever this patch happens. I realize that's not the news that you want to hear, but unfortunately we can't, I don't want to pretend to guess when Amazon is going to release this because, yeah. So let's talk about this. First and foremost, the map, the New World map on Amazon or on newworldfans.com is going to be updated for this event, so it should have a little bit better tracking for people, and of course, provides the benefit of being a pretty all-inclusive map if you're looking for just about anything. Also, apparently, if you're looking for a vacation rental, there's an ad for that.
Oh, God.
All right. So the dates of the Convergence Festival are supposedly from today through January 11th. We'll see if we can get the bonus day. But we'll see what happens here. Introduction to the Convergence Festival. Yes. All right. McLeod, do you want to take this one? I feel like I've been reading all of them, so.
What, for the introduction to the Convergence Festival?
Yeah.
Yeah, just give me a moment to bring it up.
Caught him completely off guard. My bad.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've been dealing with giving money to people, man. Like, come on. So, right, the event is marked by the Northern Lights in the sky, aka this is obviously we're going on this article that was written by BDLG, and it's on the newworldfans.com if you want to see it, if you want to sort of read it at your leisure at some other point. But anyway, the introduction to the Convergence Festival. This event is marked by the Northern Lights in the sky, aka the Aurora Borealis. This is a time of duality and dichotomy in Eternum, as the Yeti, the Winter Wanderer, comes to the land. The settlement in Eternum, the settlements in Eternum are now decorated for the holiday, and gifts are being exchanged within. However, outside the safety of the settlements, a war rages between the positive forces of the winter, championed by the Winter Wanderers' positive side, and the negative forces of winter, championed by the Winter Wanderers' negative side. You'll be taking on the cause of the Winter Wanderer during the Winter Convergence event to collect winter tokens from repeatable events across Eternum, and I do believe those events may end up being showcased on the map that is available on newworldfans.com if you guys are interested in that. you can then take these tokens and turn them into the holiday shop to receive rare and cosmetic items. Every time players turn in tokens, the Winter Wanderer's positive aspect grows. So, you know, obviously there's going to be kind of like a bit of a sort of like a sort of what is it called? Like a tug of war kind of thing between between you know the activity that people are doing you know, in terms of going out and collecting these winter tokens, and you know the negative effects of the negative side of the Winter Wanderer. So yeah. Cool. Obviously, just speaking about this is not really immersive as such, but like, you know, the aspect of being in the game and doing this is probably going to be a little bit more immersive than us just talking about it, clearly. So yeah.
And I could try a voice. I don't think it's going to come through very well, but you know, we'll try one here. Winter villages and their locations. I feel like I don't know. What am I, Irish? Like, fuck, swing and a miss. He's gaming for old and hit Irish. Good lord.
I mean, he has an Irish twang, but like, you know, he's from different places. Fine.
Oh god.
He's been around.
All right, I'm just reading this normally. I can't. Nope. In order to begin the event, you will need to make your way over to one of the winter villages set up in Everfall, Monarch's Bluff, Weaver's Fen, or Brightwood. Once there, you can go to the Yeti and begin the quest line. You can see all of the winter villages locations by visiting our interactive map on newworldfans.com.
Boom! Check that out.
So they are available. Looks like one's kind of on the border of Brightwood and Evanscale. One's on the border of
Weaver's Fen.
Good lord.
No, yeah. So Brightwood, Evanscale, Weaver's Fen, and what?
What is Eben? No, it's not. It's not Evanscale. It's good lord. Eden Grove. Thank you. I had E in my head, and I was like, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, thank you guys. Yes.
I think it's because we spend more of our time in Evanscale rather than Eden Grove. Like that, it's just like we always think Evanscale when we think E. Like,
wow. Like talk about complete brain fart there. Looks like looks like there's one between Everfall and Reekwater, and then one which is comically close to the Cutlass Keys outpost at the southern part of Monarch's Bluff, which, as the former owner of Cutlass Keys, I can tell you, looking forward to that. I say former owner as, for those that don't know, our company actually merged with another company because, well, frankly, McLeod and I didn't really have enough time to do the whole company management thing well, and our allies did a phenomenal job of doing some other stuff. This is the definition of
precipitated, me. Which precipitated what we ended up doing essentially with regards to our company. But yes, it was one of those things where we felt like, you know what, it's rather than string people on in the company that is expecting us to sort of put on this, that, and the other kind of events here, there, and everywhere. Like, you know what, some people do it better than us. I think we should celebrate that fact and
absolutely
enjoy doing various different events with them, and and their crew as well.
Absolutely. So we have just received an update about the notice of the status of the next update.
That sounds like a this is the status of the update.
Yes. So, greetings, adventurers. As we have communicated in a developer blog, we will keep you updated on the status of the upcoming weekly and monthly updates. We know you're super excited for the December monthly update and the release of the Winter Convergence event, and so are we. We will not be releasing this update today, but stay tuned for the December monthly update announcement. So tomorrow. Or the next day. Soon. Here's the thing about these things. Soon is like the as much as I appreciate them telling us, okay, hey, you can, it ain't happening tonight. Soon TM is, like, are we hitting it tomorrow? Or like add in the context of we're aiming to release it later this week would be great, because then people are like, oh, it's going to release, versus should I wait until Christmas? Like, give me a time frame. I appreciate the communication, just a subtle bit more. But yes, good on them for letting us know. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's like what are we talking about when you're talking about stay tuned? Like, what kind of time frame is that? Is that stay tuned time frame in terms of, like, a sports commentator, or is that like a stay tuned time frame because you're a geologist? In which case that could be like fucking 5,000 years. Like,
yeah.
like there's a bit of a difference between the two.
Exactly. So that'll be an interesting one. I would assume that we'll probably get the announcement tomorrow.
I imagine so, yeah.
I think there's a combination of factors here. Obviously, it's also getting late where they are, where they probably want to go home. The patch might not have been in a ready state, etc. If it's already 5:30 in the afternoon there, so it's past crunch time. Yeah. It's if it was going to happen, it was going to happen. So yeah.
Yep. Lapchi just doing a copy paste for the announcement in chat. Thank you very much, dude.
So, ice caves and their locations. Along with the introduction to the Winter Convergence event, also comes some new POIs called ice caves. These caves are appearing because of the Winter Warriors' desire for a forever winter. They are snowy and icy caves where the Yeti use their powers to freeze up and make snowfall. Apologies, I don't know what the bot did there.
Yeah, it was just because it was a link. That's all.
Lapchi,
you can send that now. Put you on a commit.
The rest of Eternum will begin to look like the ice caves if the onslaught of the warrior isn't stopped. Is this a thing we can mess with? Like, can we permanently make it winter?
I don't know. It kind of sounds like it, right? Can
we get a hold of the rest of the server and be like, guys, no, ice forever. We'll be the one server that like fails the event entirely.
I just kind of feel like you know when you kind of expect, when, like, say you're expecting something to go one way and it doesn't go that direction. Like, I wonder what would happen if servers went that direction, just permanent winter. Like, oh crap! Like, if developers just like, did we fully expect this to happen? Do we have any recourse with this? Like, if we could get it back to like normality, or is this just we're gonna have to roll with this forever?
Yeah, this one server, I guess, is permanently a thing, permanently winter.
How does this affect our sort of like development pipeline? Do we have to split it off? Like one side, like non-permanent winter sort of like updates, other like permanent winter updates. Like, I don't know what the fuck.
So that'll be an interesting thing to discover.
Yeah. We just got the current raffle is now finished.
Ooh.
So we want to draw that. Dun da da! Who wants to win?
It depends if I can find the things. Where did it go? And we have a winner.
Fitz 1805. Let us know that you are active and in chat. Otherwise, we might have to give it away to somebody else.
Do you think they're doing all the US server East merges tonight? Not all of them, no. But they have announced that they're preparing for some merges.
Yay.
All right, awesome.
Fitz is active in chat.
Good
Fantastic.
to hear. All right, we have one more of the 15-pound ones to give away.
Yep. Fitz, just let me know if you see that that whisper. Because obviously, I'm not going to give you the code in chat. That'll be a bad thing.
All right, exclamation point raffle gets you into the raffle again for yet another Amazon card.
Oh yeah.
So keep in mind that I know that like obviously like it gives like the stream gives the impression that there's some sort of relation. We're not sponsored. This stream is not sponsored by Amazon.
I literally had to go out and buy 60 quid's worth of Amazon gift cards. So
So this is very much on our own dime. So
driving around to find it at this particular point in time, close to Christmas as well, was not exactly straightforward either.
Yes, surprising. Like there's a lot of people that buy Steam gift cards. I know my brother used to do that every year for me. Like prior to me getting a professional job, and then we used to exchange like $20-$30 gifts, and then things went like batshit crazy for a while, and now we have like a whole mercy rule when it comes to gifts. Like we set a hard limit. Don't spend more than $100, because like it became a problem. Like he bought me a PlayStation 4, I bought him a VR headset, and then we were like, you know what? We're gonna somebody's gonna end up with a car here. Like
I bought you a car. I bought you a house. Like what?
Yeah. Like somebody's going into financial debt for this. Like yeah. But
classic brotherly one-upmanship.
Yes. I'd like to say that I won, for the record. Yeah.
So it drives to you with in a Tesla, and you're like, "Oh, that's a nice Tesla." It's like, "Yeah, it's yours." Like, what?
Oh god.
No, you can't do this. This is too much.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I could use new socks. Like that's half the reason to go to my parents for Christmas, is getting new like packs of socks. But I feel like that's a gift that like when you're 14 you really don't like respect as much. Like it's like, oh great, they got me socks. And when you're like in your 20s, you're like, fuck yeah, socks. Like like it, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but oh yeah. So anyways, there's 12 of these ice caves in a variety of different places. I'm not going to state all of the locations, but you can check them out on the map. Kind of all over the place. Kind of cool to see. The Winter Convergence activities. There are 4 new activities to engage in during the Winter Convergence event. Each of these events reward players with both Winter tokens, or items to exchange for Winter tokens, and event reputation. There's a new quest line, 7 new quests for the holiday event that range from level 15 to level 60. These quests will earn you quite a lot of event reputation. So they're very much worth doing. and they are the Winter Convergence, level 15, Tree of Light, level 15, Joy Recaptured, level 15, Gleamite Crystals, level 15, Yetis Abound, level 25, Wanderer Reborn, level 25, and the Winter Warrior, level 60. Kind of an ad, or kind of a jump there. Is there
just a little bit?
Is
Sorry?
Twitch seriously?
We being
We just got cock blocked by Twitch. Like,
how so?
it's like a 2-minute ad playing. Like, what? Like,
I mean, you're not helping yourself to it. Like, Jesus. Right.
why you do this?
Why you do this? Right.
Give me about 12 seconds for the rest of the everyone else to join us again.
You know what? In the VOD, people are gonna be like, "What the hell's going on? Like, why did they just suddenly stop and just do that?" Like, yeah.
For those of us rejoining us after the ad break, apologies for just continuing cavalier through Twitch's randomly inserted ad break. The upside is if you hit subscribe, you'll never have to see an ad on this channel again. Unless it's us talking about our sponsor. I'm just kidding. We don't actually have a sponsor for any of this. Our sponsor, our personal wallets. So, some of the other events. The Convergence Spirit, a special town project that allows you to complete special town project quests to upgrade each settlement's Tree of Light for improved daily rewards. There is a Lost Present Recoverer. Lost presents are located throughout Eternum. Find them and exchange them for winter tokens at the Winter Village holiday huts. There are also floating presents that can only be taken down with a ranged weapon. Upon shooting one, you will be rewarded the presents. Make sure you are carrying a ranged weapon with you to be able to collect these. So that's kind of cool.
Very nice. That's actually pretty cool. I like that.
Yes.
It also means
again,
that it's possible.
I apologize for the
have
Twitch
presents.
ads.
It also means that it's possible that somebody could have their presents, the present they shot down, pinched, like, because they don't get to it.
Yeah.
Soon enough.
Like I like this as a concept. Go out, explore the world, find presents around the world. I feel like I just did this for a few days in Star Citizen in a different way, but I'm digging it. That too was also a profitable event in that game, but yeah. So one of the other things, Gleamite showers are a random event that will occur only at night throughout Eternum. A rift will open in the sky and Gleamite will fall down, scattering on the ground. You will then have to mine the Gleamite. You can then exchange the Gleamite for winter tokens at the Winter Village holiday hut.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of, and it's cool. It's got kind of a cool look to it. So you can see these locations. You can see the locations of the presents and Gleamite by checking the interactive map and using the special events filter. So that too is also in the map. Good to know. Progression of the event.
Yes.
Once you begin the quest line upon visiting the winter villages, you will be guided through a series of holiday quests. These holiday quests reward the player XP, territory standing, Azoth, coin, and event reputation. So, pretty solid reasons to do it. As you complete the quest and perform other activities, more on that below, you will receive event reputation. This event reputation works much like the faction reputation. As you earn reputation with the Winter Wanderer, you will progress through the ranks of Reveler, Celebrant, Merrymaker, Joybringer, and the Holiday Regent. At associated levels of 0, 1,000, 3,000, 6,000, and 10,000, which is cool. It's good to see that they're using that mechanic for more than one thing.
Yeah, very much so.
As you progress through the ranks, you will unlock the next tier of the Holiday Store, much like the Faction Store. Okay, good reuse of a mechanic here.
Yeah.
That will allow you to purchase holiday event-specific food that will double the amount of Gleamite crystals gathered from Gleamite shards and chunks, armor, and weapons from tier 2 up to tier 5, ice-themed furniture, and armor and weapons patterns. So that's also good to know. Winter tokens and how to get them.
It's interesting that you can buy something that increases the amount of Gleamite that drops, which in turn obviously means that you can, take that back and exchange it for more sort of tokens. There's an interesting
bit of a feedback loop there. Yeah,
feedback loop thing going on there. Yeah, which people might might take advantage of a little bit. Yes.
Very nice. All right. Winter tokens and how to get them. Winter tokens are the currency of the Winter Convergence Festival and can be used to purchase items within the Winter Convergence shop. In order to obtain winter tokens, you must engage with the winter activities that were listed above. Some of the activities, such as gathering a present or Gleamite, will reward you with items that can be exchanged for tokens. The exchange is as follows. Winter token, presents, 3 recovered presents for 1 winter token. Gleamite, 10 Gleamite for 1 winter token. Premium winter token, exchange 25 winter tokens to obtain a premium winter token. Winter token times 25, exchange 1 premium winter token for 25 regular tokens. I don't know about you guys, but I'm confused, but I'm okay with it.
You can move them back and forth. The nice thing is that, you exchange 25 winter tokens to get a premium, but you can move that back without it basically costing you, right? So instead of it being you can exchange it to 1 premium token, but exchanging it back only gives you 20. They've kept it to 25, so it's, then they're not trying to penalize anybody who who exchanges it up, so that's good.
Yes. The best way to obtain winter tokens is to complete the quest from the Yeti and grab the presents from the tree in each settlement. This will reward you with a much larger gift that'll give you several winter tokens. However, these can only be done once a day. You can, however, collect these presents. You can, however, collect the presents as you are traveling a turnip. They are in abundance and very easy to find. You will then have to exchange the presents for the tokens. The premium tokens are used to purchase the furniture, tier 5 gear, and give a give present emote. And a pet rabbit for your house, apparently. That's kind of cool. I like having pets in front of my house. I think on all of my houses I have dogs. Many of them. The remaining items cost regular winter tokens. So looks like it's actually going to talk about what's actually in here. You will be able to purchase at the rank 1 Reveler level. You will be able to purchase the holiday food. This food will be important to your progression in the event, and you will want to have it as active as you gather Gleamite crystals, because you will be able to obtain double the amount of Gleamite crystals gained when gathering from Gleamite shards and chunks. So basically, have this stuff on you. Spend a couple of tokens, get it, so that you have it on you. Because otherwise you're giving up, half of what you could get. At the second rank, you'll be able to purchase several different tiers several different types of Tier 2 uncommon weapons and armor, as well as Snowcap Chair, Snowcap Shelf. Both pieces of furniture cost premium winter tokens. The chair costs 2 premium tokens, and the shelf costs 1. So it's an interesting way to do it. It's basically, instead of putting it in the store, just, hey, go run this content, and you can get it without paying, which is cool. Merrymaker. At this rank, you'll be able to obtain Tier 3 rare weapons and armor and Snowcap Nightstand for 1 premium token, a Snowcapped Lantern for 2 premium tokens, and Snowcapped Rabbit Sculpture for 3 premium tokens. At rank 4, at this rank, you'll be able to purchase various Tier 4 rare weapons and armor, as well as Snowcapped Dining Table for 3 premium tokens, Snowcapped Chandelier for 5 premium tokens, and a Snowcapped Boar Sculpture for 10 premium tokens.
I think that dining table is going to be something that people are going to be looking for, I think.
Highly likely. Also, a raffle just ended.
Hey, for one of these.
So,
that's the last one as well.
Let's see who won.
Poop Troopin'. Congratulations, dude. Say something in chat so we know that you're around, and because if you're not around, then we're gonna have to redo it. There you go. Hey, dude.
Awesome.
Right, I'll message you.
Awesome. All right.
It's all good.
So let's go back into it. Rank 5, Holiday Regent. At this rank, you'll be able to obtain various epic Tier 5 weapons and armor costing anywhere from 2 to 5 premium tokens. You can also obtain a Festive Toy Rabbit for 10 premium tokens, a Give Present emote for 10 premium tokens, and a Winter Wanderer's Cosmetic Cloak for 10 premium tokens. I don't know what that is, but I already want it. Like, that's a thing that I need to acquire now. I didn't know that I needed it. I still haven't seen what it looks like. I just want it.
With the cosmetic cloak.
Yep. don't even care what it looks like. It's mine. I will acquire it. So let's see here. Along with those items, there's also a Snowcapped Bed for 5 premium tokens, a Snowcapped Bookcase for 3 premium tokens, and a Snowcapped Stag Sculpture for 1. Really? I feel like there's a typo. That's gotta be 10.
Yeah. I don't know.
If it's 1, that's cool too.
5, 3, and then 1. Okay.
Also, at this tier, you can purchase weapon and armor patterns for 1 regular token per pattern. Interesting. These patterns are used to create a weapon or piece of armor of your choice that will have a specific look. The overall quality and outcome of the item is dependent upon the crafter. So hey, that's pretty cool. Alright. How to earn event reputation. Obtaining reputation can be done by performing all of the Winter Convergence activities. Quests will reward you with the most event reputation. However, quests alone will not be enough to earn enough reputation to reach rank 5. You will be able to reach rank 2 very easily after completing a couple of quests. You should be there around the time you complete the Joy Recaptured quest, the 3rd quest, the quest line. After completing that quest, you'll have 2 more you can complete before hitting a bottleneck and having to grind faction reputation via gathering presents, Gleamite, town boards, and Tree of Light. The quest Wanderer Reborn will make you do the following: harvest Gleamite chunks, recover lost presents, collect daily rewards from the Tree of Light and gift sack. Cracking a cold one?
No, I'm
Oh, it's like
I'm breaking
what?
open to get the code for Poop Dripping.
Sorry.
You're like, what's going on?
I was like, wait, what? Oh god, that's honest to god. That did that not sound like a bottle top, or like a?
I mean, it shouldn't have had the whole. It shouldn't have had the hiss at the end of it.
Yeah.
Than...
So the quest Wanderer Reborn will make you do the following: harvest Gleamite chunks, recover lost presents, collect daily rewards from the Tree of Light and gift sack, and complete festive town projects to reach rank 3 of reputation with the Winter Wanderer, and speak to the Winter Wanderer in the Winter's Village. In order to complete this and reach rank 3, you want to make sure that you're collecting all of the Tree of Lights from every settlement. So you're going to want to bounce around a little bit. You might want to play some Outpost Rush, fill up that Azoth prior to doing this. But looks like you should be able to bounce into it pretty quickly. Let's see. These will reward you with a very large chunk of 150 event reputation for each one that you loot. So that's actually the Tree of Lights in each settlement, 150 each per day, is pretty solid apparently. So that's pretty good. You also want to receive a present that will have other goodies inside, including a lockbox that will have some additional loot inside and some event tokens. Each settlement Tree of Light can only be looted once per day. And this is what they look like. Those that don't know. Exquisite gift pile. There's too much green with the snow going on. Still too much green. Might just be me, but there are not any Trees of Light in the outpost or in the endgame zones. They're only located in settlements. So that's a good one. After you have looted these Trees of Light for the day, you're going to have to resort to grinding town board missions if available, finding the presents scattered around, and mining the Gleamite. The Gleamite only spawns at night, so it'd be a little and can be a little tricky to find. If you come across some, make sure that you mine it. You can use our map to find the locations.
Okay.
Answering the question from chat, I have no idea if they're going to, as we're not developers, we don't know. We don't actually work for Amazon. We just happen to run, some good content related to them.
Yeah, we feel it's good content.
Yeah, theoretically good content. It might not be. Depends on the day. All right. Let's see what else do we got here.
Diamond gypsum.
Diamond gypsum. You can earn diamond gypsum from the Winter Convergence event that'll allow you to gain a guaranteed expertise bump. You will need to collect 3 diamond gypsum to craft an orb. During the Winter Convergence Festival at level 60, can earn gypsum when interacting with their first 3 Trees of Light a day, i.e. bouncing around from town to town is going to get you a solid way to increase at least 1 of your weapons expertise level, which will be coming in this next patch. So look forward to that.
Yeah, interesting. They're bringing this. They're sort of like bringing like a light version of this, into the winter event just to see how it plays out. Obviously, Amazon Games are kind of very interested in terms of making sure that this mechanic is working well, and so bring a kind of like a light version, a very limited and small run kind of version of it into the winter event. I can understand their reasonings for doing that. Makes sense. So how much of the conversion event could a level 35 get up to? I think there'll be a cap for those under level 60 quest wise, I guess. I mean, I think you probably do a fair amount of it. believe. I haven't.
Most of it, because most of the
dived into it.
there's only one that's a
You think so?
level 60 quest. There's only one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Wanderer Reborn is level 25. So there's only one quest that you can't run at a lower level, but yeah. So you should be able to do most of it.
Yeah, and you don't need to be doing the Winter Warrior kind of level 60 parts to it in order to get to the higher level of the the Winter Store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's cumulative, so you can carry on doing like your regular stuff at the levels that are better for you, and just continually just keep progressing up to that final level.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and additionally, if you can find some level 60s to finish that quest with, they can power you through, and as a group you can probably complete it, depending on how they built the quest, which we don't know. So that'll be a find out together moment. But yeah, that also brought us to the end of the article. I want to thank BDLG and Studio Loot for putting that together. For those that want to keep this or want to share this with people, here's the link. Make sure to check out newworldfans.com. Solid website. We're part of the team over there. And yeah, always good stuff.
For sure. Do you want to code in that I don't know, do we want to give away this £50 Steam voucher?
I don't know. Is there enough people in chat that
I don't know,
that want £50 on Steam? Is this I'm not seeing a whole lot of demand yet in chat.
And Amazon didn't drop the patch notes either. I mean, we did say at the start,
I won't say no.
So
I suppose we definitely should.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Fuck. All right. So as we start this up, this is a 50 British pounds Steam card. So for those in the US and elsewhere, it could be worth more or less depending on how it translates value-wise. Again, I want to state that, hey, these are entirely out of our pockets. Like, this is not in any way a sponsored video. So, with that, simply put, thank you guys. Thank you for the support that you've given us throughout the years, as we celebrate our 2-year anniversary as content creators. I say this as Amazon Games has decided to push something to social.
What?
Okay, nope, nothing. Sorry.
No, all right.
Just social catching up with announcements.
Okay.
Yeah, just an update saying stay tuned. It's coming, but not tonight. Yeah. So, exclamation point raffle. Make sure you guys, tell your friends, like, hey, get your friends involved. It's a good opportunity. When does the event start? See, that's the trick. It doesn't. Soon, TM.
Yeah. Soon TM is the accurate answer to that.
Yeah. It was supposed to start today. However, apparently it might start tomorrow or the day after, depending on when the patch actually lands. Once the patch goes through, then that'll be that. But they just push the patch to at least tomorrow. So, yeah.
But yeah. How long did you set for the for this particular raffle, by the way? Same length of time?
I think so.
I mean, I think we can open it up to questions. I believe.
Yeah.
Like, we can do a community Q&A, which is something that we always, always like to end the streams with. So, you guys have any questions out there that we haven't already answered? Because I know that we've grabbed a few questions throughout the show. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about New World in general, about how we kind of think, how we feel about New World, how about
or if you just want to talk about Twitch and stuff like that, like how to set up your Twitch stream for success, how to stream to
I know
1,422 people.
I know one good thing, one good sort of thing to do to start off when you're starting off a Twitch stream is make sure that you make sure you click save VODs.
Yes. Single most important change in your profile when you're setting up Twitch.
Definitely.
By far.
Oh yeah.
And do you think it was a problem in the PTR that they put in a guaranteed 600 for weapons and armor, but not gathering stuff for tools or bags?
I mean, I could say a lot about what's good and what's bad with regards to how they set up the PTR, but honestly, when it comes to sort of testing out content, the stuff that they have in the PTR is actually 1,000 times better than what we had when we were doing the alpha and the closed beta.
I do think from the perspective of guaranteeing level 600 gear, I think that leaving those off as guaranteed drops gives you a better opportunity as a crafter to have value. And I realize that there's people sitting here going, yeah, but that means I gotta get engineering to 200.
I think if it comes to, if you're talking specifically about testing stuff out, you don't want players to be having to feel like they have to grind in order to test some stuff out. So in that kind of sense, I do kind of think that they should probably, I think Amazon Games should allow people to be able to get to get that, to get levels guaranteed 600 stuff for tools and bags and stuff.
Wait, are you talking about for the? Sorry, I think there's two different. I think I was answering a different question than what was asked.
I think you were, yeah.
So the reason they give you max level weapons and armor on the PTR is to ensure that you have that gear.
In order to.
If you're talking about the guarantee of getting a level 600 item from
crafting, that's not. Yeah, that was a different thing. I think, it was very much. I think it was the question was very much along the lines of.
He's talking about the patterns. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I was answering the right one. Part of that, I do kind of agree. I think that there should potentially be more options for gatherers to get a level 600 off of patterns. That said, I think that for the love of God, Twitch, you are not going to do this again. So the reason I turned is there's a little yellow bar that's there's an ad soon.
No.
This is my disappointed face. Because I literally I can't control
disappointed.
it.
Oh well. These things, are sent to try us.
Yeah. For our subscribers, I can answer that question. For everyone else, unfortunately, you'll find out in 2 minutes.
You know, the comical thing is that they wouldn't have heard that probably.
Yeah. Yep.
They'll find out. Yeah. Thank you very much, Angry Fist.
Apologies. Twitch, you really gotta ask, is the money worth it? Because you're killing me here.
The issue is post show. I'm gonna have to be trying to make I'm gonna have to be making a decision as to like, do I cut this out? Do I not cut this out? Do I just leave it in and be like, well, this is the experience, guys? Like, when it comes to a VOD, I don't know. Hope you guys are kind of interested in like checking out like the shows after the fact as such, because you really should check out like our YouTube as well. Yeah, definitely
Absolutely.
get subscribed over there, because we always put like the shows up on there, and I always like do a little bit of trimming and stuff like that to make sure that it's not, we're not wasting your time in terms of like, leaving in long intros and all that kind of jazz, and obviously, optimizing the sort of the level of our voices and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah,
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you're not in the raffle at the moment, like, get into the raffle, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It is for this.
Yeah, good times. Steam, £50.
Oh yeah.
For those that don't know, that's more than $50.
Yes, this will get you a AAA game on Steam. Actually, I think even if Square Enix sort of has their way, it will probably still get you a 50. It will still get you a AAA game from Square Enix, because they want to push the price up to 70. I think $70 rather than 60.
If games were finished, I might be willing to pay more. But
I know,
I'm getting burned over and over again. I'm
like,
getting
hey,
less likely to pay the premium.
I'm okay for spending $70 rather than $60 for a game, as long as you being prepared to offer me 10 to 15% more game. How about that?
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair.
That makes sense, right? That's it's an agreeable compromise.
Mm-hmm. I have so many games on Steam right now that are like just dead games. Like they're forever betas, or forever alphas. They're never actually going to launch as an official game.
I've got some stuff on here that I haven't played that I really should, be honest. Yeah. And some stuff I'm never ever gonna play, like Atlas I bought but not gonna play. It's just terrible.
Yeah. There's definitely some trophies in my Steam library.
Oh yeah.
That are there just to be there. There are some that like you can't get anymore. So like still having certain alphas and
just gone
test clients and stuff like that. It's cool stuff to have in there, but functionally doesn't really do you any good anymore.
Yeah, and this is also one of the things that kind of aggravated me a little bit when it comes to Steam, because like we definitely went through it when we're talking about Steam, we definitely went through a period where like so many games companies were doing like early access, right? And people bought into it. People bought into it like, oh yeah, it's a it's like an exclusive club kind of thing, or like and it's just like, just 9 times out of 10 it just ended in just heartbreak and tears, but people still buy into it.
Yeah. As far as early access games, there's some that I've been willing to pay for, and it's it varies, because, like, for instance, I'm a backer for Star Citizen, at not an insubstantial dollar amount either. And
I by the way, I do, I do rib on him. I do rib on Ace every single time he says, "Oh yeah, I purchased this," or I've got this new thing now in Star Citizen. I'm like, for fuck's sake, dude.
well, so here's the thing though, like I back.
I mean,
because of the way that they're funding the game, I would prefer to back a studio that is going to ensure that the game is going to launch in a state that I want it to, if they can hit that vision, which is why I don't mind that. But when somebody's selling me, hey, for $30 you can get into our alpha, or the one that raises huge red flags for me, I want it to be a success. I want, like, don't get me wrong, I want this game to be a success, and I realize that it's a competitor to New World. Like, I want it to be a success because it's yet another game in the same genre that I like to play, Ashes of Creation. But when you're selling alpha access for $500, I'm sorry, there's some red fucking flags going off there.
Yeah, there is some red flags on that one. Like, yeah.
Now the alpha was okay, but it showcased that it needed 2 more years of development, at least.
Easily, yeah.
Now I don't have a problem with that. I'll wait. As I said, I'm a Star Citizen backer. I'm used to waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
But don't launch it early. Get it done right the first time.
Yeah, if you don't have patience, then Star Citizen probably isn't for you.
Yeah,
because that thing's going to take a while still. Even though it's been a while, it's still going to take a while. Because it's one of those things where they're trying to do a lot of, like, I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people think that Star Citizen is just going to be like a space simulation dogfighting game kind of thing. They're literally trying to build a universe simulator. Like, and when I say universe simulator, like, they want to go from the largest sort of the larger scales all the way down to like the miniature, like the grains of sand kind of thing. Drop a flick knife on a planet, fly the other side of the galaxy, log off for 3 weeks, come back, and it will still be there, kind of thing. Like, unless someone picked it up, obviously. But there's the kind of crazy thing that they want to do, and that kind of stuff takes a long time to do. But they're trying to do it properly.
Oh, it's also one of the reasons, like, it's one of the reasons why I like the way that not Star Citizen, the way that I like New World, because there's no subscription. If something, if I get distracted by the new shiny game, I want to go play Halo Infinite. I don't have to worry. I'm not paying. I'm not paying an exorbitant sum of money to stay there. I paid once. That's all I need to pay. I can come back at any time. Which is also why, like, I don't fear the whole, like, the player count's dropped off quite a bit, but it really doesn't matter because all of those players have 0 bar of barrier of entry to come back.
Exactly.
Versus, imagine if World of Warcraft had lost that many people, and then to come back, they got to pay a subscription. Like, they're going to think twice.
That'd be pretty hard.
So, yeah. So that's kind of a cool one. I feel like we're getting close to when this is going to draw.
If you're not in it, or if you're not in it yet, you should jump into it. It's an exclamation point raffle to get one of these.
Make sure you're in on the raffle, guys. So,
we've only got one.
Yeah. So I do want to talk a little bit about the channel. Exclamation point raffle gets you into the raffle in chat there. Everybody's welcome to join. Everybody gets one ticket, regardless of if you're a sub, follow, or whatever. In order of the channel set to follow only chat, so you do have to follow to enter, but you know that's more of a mechanic about the chat than anything else.
Yep.
That said, so we do this every week. We're here every Tuesday, and we are going to continue to do this regardless of anything. You know, we've been doing it for 2 years. We've been enjoying it. It really has been a good time. You know, and I say that from the perspective of, you know, somebody who was doing this pre-launch, like pre-betas. You know, we were streaming to 15 to 20 people. And now,
I mean, I still remember us streaming to 5 people. Like,
yeah,
and 2 of them were us.
Few. Yeah.
You remember that? It was like, oh yeah, 2 of them are us. Oh yeah, good point. So we're only streaming to 3. Like, yeah.
You know, so it really is nice to get the numbers that we get, to get the support with the exposure from newworldfans.com, through the embedded stream over there. You know, we simply put wouldn't do this without you guys.
Exactly.
Your support over the last 2 years has been immeasurable and made positive impacts on us. And it's created a lot of opportunities for us to do a whole bunch of things that, like, frankly, you know, streaming something like this is never something I thought that would take off. And
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's really cool to get to this point, and we're excited to see where we can take this past here. As we talked about earlier on in the stream, we are in the process of developing a new show. You know, we're not obviously, as I said, we're not stopping our New World content, but we're going to be adding another night of the week, where we will either be streaming here on Twitch or on YouTube. And
yes, we have a YouTube
show. Yes, we do have a YouTube. Feel free to go check it out and follow it, and I suppose subscribe over there. But if you want to subscribe here,
subscribing over there is
free.
You know. Subscribing over there is basically like following over here. Like, you know, it's just, you know, there you'll. I mean, if you don't know YouTube already, like, you know, just subscribing, hitting that bell, like, it is literally just a way for you to be, you know, notified when new content comes up, you know, on there. So definitely go and do that.
So the focus of this new show is going to focus in on gaming industry and gaming news, as well as entertainment type information. So things like, hey, the new Witcher series is coming out. Here's what we're looking forward to on it. You know, because it's relevant within the gaming sphere. You know, we're probably not going to talk about, you know, unless it becomes insanely popular, you know, which I don't think our current audience this would take off very well. We're not going to talk about, like, The Bachelor as an entertainment option, but, you know, we'll play that one by ear.
Hey, you know, farming simulator is a thing. I think we could do a review of Clarkson's, you know, Clarkson's farm thing, like, right?
Oh yeah. You know, so that one's going to have a little bit more flexibility in the content. You know, it may include content from New World, where we'll cover major events, but it's not going to be a, you know, multi-hour patch note review type thing. It would be, you know, hey, relatively quick mention of here's the highlight of the story of New World's new patch will be X time at, you know. You know, and we'll include some of these major features.
Maybe a little bit of commentary between the people who are on the show, kind of thing. Like, you know, that's about it.
But it also gives us an opportunity to cover a lot of other games. For those that don't know, last week we covered, as one of the official co-streamers for the Video Game Awards, you know, we covered the world premieres of many new games and their trailers. So we're excited to see the future of gaming, and we want to help bring that information to you. So, with that,
the issue that I have, yes,
a certain thing is right about to end.
oh, okay.
So,
I was gonna say,
exclamation
like,
point raffles, quick. If you haven't entered,
you're not already there. One of the things I was gonna set up, I was gonna do a VOD for that show, but one of the things that's an issue with it is checking out the VOD of the official VOD. There's a lot of moments where it's just silent, and the reason why it's silent is because it has copyrighted music, and so one of the things that if we I can see it now that I'm gonna have to, like, you know, upload it like multiple times because it's gonna breach. There's gonna be some copyright flagging, like here, there, and everywhere. And then I'm gonna have to redo it and then re-upload it and then redo it and re-upload it. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. So if you guys want to check it out, it is probably it's definitely still on the channel, on the Twitch. You know, on our Twitch channel as a, you know, previous stream, previous broadcast.
Theoretically, we should
check it there.
We should talk to we got to talk with Gamescom about that, because that'll be a conversation about fair use, because technically we broadcasted that, so that's not
Yeah, I mean, it's fair use, yeah, but like, they're always really awkward about that, and the reason why they're awkward about that is because, you know, those particular companies that own those copyrights are always super awkward to deal with, and they, you know, they have a lot of money with a lot of lawyers. You know,
yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I think it's worth asking them. You know, like, hey, if we post this, is this actually going to be a problem?
I think should we do some hip hop dance reviews on the channel on our YouTube? Like, you know,
I mean, depends. Do we start with hammer time? Because like I can wear hammer pants. I'm good with that.
We'll have to review the dancing only, because I don't think we'll be able to review the music.
All right, last few seconds, guys. Exclamation point raffle. Last chance to get in.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't got in yet, get in quick.
Last chance. 50 British pounds Steam card. Last chance, guys. Here.
I'm sure a lot of you guys have already done it. It's always good to double check, though.
It's just about to run dry here.
I would say that it is recommended that you have Steam.
All right.
In order to get a Steam.
That one ended it.
There we go. All right.
Let's see who gets it.
Shh.
Holy shh. Awesome name.
Great name for winning 50 pound Steam gift card.
Great name for that, guys.
Let us know that you're around and active in chat, dude. Like, say something, so we know that you're around. Otherwise, we're gonna have to re-roll it, and you don't want to be a winner of 50 pounds for Steam and, you know, not be here. And that's the thing. That is the thing. He has to be here to win it.
Holy shh! Are you here? And now we just stare awkwardly at chat.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, is he here? Is he not here? What's the cutoff time? Oh, this is getting suspenseful now. Like, oh, do we? I think we might have to re-roll it, dude. Like,
Let's. I'm gonna start a timer here.
If he's not here, if he's not here, if he doesn't say anything in the next, say, gets to 34 minutes past the hour, then
I'm gonna give him 4 minutes.
You're gonna give him 4 full minutes.
4 full minutes for to get his together.
That is generous as fuck.
4 full minutes.
That is super generous. I would almost say that's too generous, but that's just
holy where are you? You've won something.
Get in touch. Yeah, you won something, and you best speak up soon.
He isn't even in chat, is he?
Chat's one.
Let me.
Yeah, I don't think we could spread £50, between everybody in chat fairly.
He is not in chat.
Worthwhile. Okay, I mean, if he's not even in chat, then I think you need to re-roll this.
I think so. As he is not here, I have checked chat. It shows that he's not in chat either. We are going to re-roll this for someone else. And Laptree123. Did he win twice?
He did as well. He was our first winner.
All right, congrats.
Oh my god. Laptree, say something.
He's having a night. Like
what?
Just go buy a lottery ticket, man.
Yeah, I would go out and get a lottery ticket right now.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right. Well, McLeod and you will have a small chat and exchange the code for it. I again want to thank everyone. I want to wish everyone the happiest of holidays. I wish you guys all the best. And we are, of course, excited to continue into the new year, through the holidays, have some fun, and wrapping things up for the night here. As we always love to say, we will see you guys in the new world.